I've got an older laptop to show today. It's a Dell Latitude D630, a very lovely laptop from 2007 or 8, first gen Core 2 Duo base machine. I got this from the television station back in June when I first started there. It was laying around and he was like, "Hey, we have no use for this. Do you want it?" And I'm like, "Sure." I really like these Dell Latitude D600 series units. I have the first model, the D600. I had it for a couple of years. Really liked using it. That was a Pentium M base machine from 2005. And then it developed a motherboard issue and it won't boot into any operating system anymore. It just locks up. It either locks up halfway through or it starts up and there's no Wi-Fi. So some sort of motherboard failure. But I always found it to be a very nicely built computer, and this one is no different. Partially metal in its build, and just a very nice business class computer. These are very solid computers, very good quality. So the D630 was a couple of generations afterward. Core 2 Duo. It's a T7200, I think, or 7100. Designed for Windows XP. It doesn't say Windows Vista on it, oddly. So this might be from really early 2007, perhaps? But I have Windows 10 running on this thing, and the reason I have Windows 10 running on what's kind of an inappropriately old computer for Windows 10 is, well, first of all, it actually runs Windows 10 really well, we will see. But second of all, I'm not keeping this computer, I'm actually giving it to Bridgette, because Bridgette does not have a decent laptop to use. She has a laptop there, but it sucks. It's a Compaq with an AMD V120 CPU, which I never even heard of before, but it's a CPU with like a fraction of the power of this laptop that's older. It's like an Intel Atom grade CPU, but even though it's a full-size laptop, so it's really stupid, super slow, and also it started giving errors every time Bridgette turns it on, even though I had reformatted it with a new Windows installation. So beats me, so we're gonna trade. I'm gonna send her this, and then someday I'll get that other laptop and I'll turn it into a Linux beater or something. But I think this computer will serve her well. It'll definitely serve her better than the one she's got right now. So I'm excited for her to get this. It's got the, well, what IBM calls or Lenovo calls the track point. I don't know what Dell calls it. Pointing stick, I suppose. Let's see what we got for I/O. We got an express card slot. Firewire, your analog audio. This uses the same old power jack that Dell's used for years and years and years. They might even still be using it today, I'm not sure. There's your VGA out serial port, that's pretty sweet. 2 USB ports, built-in modem, and Ethernet. So a lot of legacy I/O on this. That's why I like these business grade computers from this era. 2 more USB ports, and what appears to be a DVD-RW drive. Looking on the bottom, once I zoom out, we have no battery, and I did get it with a battery, but it was completely dead. So once I get this thing in the mail towards Bridgette, I'm also going to buy a generic, cheap, new battery from Amazon, and then once she gets this laptop, she can slap that in there. And then she'll have a nice laptop with a good battery. I have no idea why it says strike zone there. This is where the hard drive is, so something to do with that, I assume. Alright, let's boot this thing up. Very good display hinges, no slack at all. Really impressive. Even my ThinkPad T420S has slack in the display hinges. So yeah, this thing runs Windows 10 surprisingly well. This is based on the same hardware as my Toshiba satellite A100 or whatever it's called. And this thing is way faster than that. And that runs Windows XP. I think I tried 10 on it and it was not a fun experience at all. Even Windows 7 was really slow on that laptop. But this thing is super impressive on how well it runs Windows 10, even though it's the same hardware. I don't know why. Oh, you know what? I do know why. This thing I completely forgot. This thing has discrete graphics in it. This has an nVidia Quadro, I think it's an NVS 120M or something. Discrete graphics. That's why, because that Toshiba's got the integrated Intel graphics, Intel 945 or whatever graphics. Yeah. And this has got the nVidia Quadro, so that definitely helps the performance. That's probably why this thing's able to run YouTube and stuff. And this is one of the of a few backgrounds I've put on this thing. That'll be a nice surprise for Bridgette. I've instructed her not to watch this video when it debuts because I don't want her, I don't want to ruin the surprise of these backgrounds. But as you can see, we're already booted up here. Really impressive. And for what it is, this thing is not too shabby at all. So it's a Core 2 Duo T7250, 2 gigahertz, 4 gigs of RAM, and this has what I assume is the original hard drive in it. That is 250 gigs by the looks of it. I'll open a web browser here and we'll just show a YouTube video playing briefly. Yeah, not too friggin' bad. This thing leaves me endlessly impressed on how well it runs for how old of a machine it is. Because in the grand scheme of things, it's a very weak machine. But it's doing so good compared to many other computers of its age. So it's running that just fine. I don't know what resolution it chose. It chose 240p. Let's see if it'll do 480p. It will do 480p. Will it do 720p? I'm going to say probably not. No, it's doing 720p. Wow, it's not lagging at all. That was incredible. So yeah, that nVidia Quadro. Let me see what it actually is, just so I don't give the wrong information like I occasionally do accidentally. And yeah, Windows 10 installed all the hardware with no issues, no yellow exclamation points. I didn't even have to hunt for any drivers. It had them all ready to go, including the fingerprint reader. This thing has a fingerprint reader right there. So Bridge will be able to set this up with a fingerprint reader if she wants to. GPU is an nVidia Quadro NVS 135M, so I was close. So obviously, you know, that's going to be a super low-end GPU. It's not worth anything today, but compared to the equivalent Intel integrated graphics of the time when this laptop was made, it's making all the difference versus this laptop not being usable and being perfectly usable. So it's really impressive. But that's about it. Just a quick little video. I'm gonna shut this thing down and wrap it up, stuff it in the box with everything else I'm sending Bridgette, and get that out to her. And once I get it sent out, while it's on its way to her, I will also buy a battery on Amazon for it and have that shipped to her, so she'll get the laptop and she'll get a brand new battery that she can use with it. And I think this is going to serve her really well. And just as a Facebook machine or a writing machine, you might have seen I have LibreOffice installed. I think it'll be really useful for her, especially when she stays at her parents' house or whatever. So there you go. A Dell Latitude D630, a very nice computer and still competent some 12, 13 years after this was sold. Very nice computer, I must say. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.